Welcome to Learning Thursdays. I'm Dean Hale with the OASAS Learning and Development Unit and your host for today's presentation. Learning Thursdays are offered to behavioral health professionals as a free learning opportunity with the goal of improving the knowledge and skills of the New York State substance use disorder workforce as we strive to improve the lives of individuals needing prevention, treatment, recovery, and harm reduction services. A goal of Learning Thursdays is to support the professional development of the treatment, prevention, recovery, and harm reduction workforce. We do this by offering regular presentations that are relevant to today's substance use disorder treatment professional. As always, if there are any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to contact us at the Learning Thursdays mailbox. You can use the same mailbox to express an interest in providing a future Learning Thursdays program. Today's presentation is titled New York State Commission for the Blind, a Division Overview. And my guests are Julie Hovey, Associate Commissioner. Ms. Hovey has been with the NYSCB since 2000, starting as vocational rehab trainee and progressing through various roles, including Associate Vocational Rehabilitation Counselor. As Associate Commissioner, she oversees the Commission's various programs and services, staffing, and priority initiatives. Julie holds a bachelor's degree in public justice, a master's degree in rehabilitation counseling, and is a certified rehabilitation counselor. She represents the Office of Children and Family Services on the Most Integrated Setting Coordinating Council, which ensures appropriate care and services for New Yorkers with disabilities. Also joining me today is Sarah Sardella, Outreach Coordinator and Administrative Analyst. Ms. Sardella joined NYSCB in 2023 as an Outreach Coordinator and Administrative Analyst. She supports outreach initiatives, staff meetings and training, and ensures the quality of the Commission's forms, websites, and resources. Beginning her career in counseling and psychology, Ms. Sardella has built a solid foundation in human services and program evaluation. She's also a certified Excel expert through Microsoft and contributes as a liaison to the NYSCB Executive Board, furthering enhancing the Commission's outreach efforts. Ms. Sardella is dedicated to promoting NYSCB services and ensuring all individuals access the resources they need for independence and success. And also joining me today is Daniel Diaz. Daniel is the District Manager, Westchester District Office. Daniel Diaz serves as a Westchester District Manager with NYSCB. In his role, Daniel oversees a team of vocational rehabilitation counselors who deliver essential rehabilitation and career counseling services to individuals who are blind or visually impaired. Daniel earned a Bachelor's of Arts degree in sociology with a minor in psychology from SUNY New Paltz in 2004. He furthered his education by obtaining a Master of Science in Rehabilitation Counseling from CUNY Hunter College in 2008. Daniel began his journey with NYSCB in 2007 as a vocational rehabilitation counselor, student intern, and was hired as a VR counselor in 2008. He achieved Certified Rehabilitation Counselor certification from the Commission on Rehabilitation Counselor Certification in 2015 and was promoted to Senior VR Counselor in 2018. In 2022, he took on the role of District Manager at the Westchester Regional Office. Throughout his career, Daniel has been committed to helping individuals who are legally blind realize their full potential and become independent, productive members of society. His goal is to continue providing support and guidance to his counseling staff, ensuring they can deliver high-quality services to people with disabilities throughout New York State. Our presenters are provided copies of the slides. To be fair and equitable to people with visual or print disability, we recommend always reading the slide in its entirety when possible. Welcome, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Dean. The Office of Children and Family Services, OCFS, serves New York State by promoting the safety, permanency, and well-being of children, families, and communities. OCFS is dedicated to improving the integration of services for New York's children, youth, families, and vulnerable populations, to promoting their development, and to protecting them from violence, neglect, abuse, and abandonment. As a division of OCFS, the mission of the New York State Commission for the Blind, NYSCB, is to enhance employability, maximize independence, and assist in developing the capacities and strengths of people who are legally blind. We provide vocational rehabilitation and other direct services to legally blind, low vision, and deafblind residents of New York. We want to ensure that everyone has equal access to the Commission's services, and we encourage cross-referrals from other agencies. The Commission provides vocational rehabilitation, which improves functional vision and enhances skills for individuals with visual impairments or blindness. By teaching vision rehabilitation, adaptive techniques, and essential skills and strategies, vision rehab services support independence and safety at home, at work, and in the community, while boosting confidence and overall quality of life. Vision rehab can occur alongside ongoing medical treatments, such as eye injections or surgeries. It may also start after a consultation with an ophthalmologist confirms that no further medical interventions can improve vision. Even when medical options are exhausted or no longer available, vision rehab services can greatly improve visual function and overall well-being. This helps the individual thrive despite their vision loss. Vocational rehabilitation is available in every state. It's a process designed to assist individuals with disabilities in obtaining their first job, maintaining current employment, or securing new employment opportunities. It focuses on understanding their unique needs and providing necessary support. It involves teaching important skills and setting measurable goals to help individuals succeed in achieving their goals. The Commission serves people with severe vision loss as well as other medical conditions or disabilities. Some examples include autoimmune conditions like diabetes. The Commission is one of 2 vocational rehabilitation programs in New York State, serving people with disabilities. Our sister agency, the Adult Career and Continuing Education Services, or Access VR, is a division of the New York State Education Department. Access VR is the general VR agency that serves any individual with a disability. The Commission serves individuals who are legally blind. Dan.
Thank you, Julie. Who's eligible for NYSCB services? To qualify for NYSCB services, individuals must be legally blind. Those with significant vision impairment may also qualify for specific programs. Eligible individuals receive services for free. Some services may depend on economic need. How can someone be referred to NYSCB? Referrals can come from a medical or an eye care provider. Family members or individuals can self-refer by contacting us directly. We offer personalized assistance throughout the application process. If someone calls in our office, we have staff that can take an application over the phone. Populations we serve legally blind, low vision, and deafblind New Yorkers from birth to older age adults. Our programs serve children and transition-age youth between the ages of 3 to 22 years old, adults, and older folks that are blind aged 55 and over. We also assist individuals with blindness and a range of other disabilities, including people with physical, sensory, and emotional challenges. Back to you, Julie.
Now we're going to define legal blindness. The definition of legal blindness can be defined in 2 different ways. The first way is by your visual acuity. a visual acuity of 2200 or less in the better or stronger eye with best correction. This means that the person must stand at 20 feet to see what most people see at 200 feet away. Visual acuity is usually looking at your central or reading vision, and it's a measure of the sharpness or clarity of your vision and your ability to see details. And an example of where your central vision may be affected is with macular degeneration. The second way that we define legal blindness is through a restricted field of vision of 20 degrees or less in the better or stronger eye. A normal field is to be measured at 180 degrees. Field of vision refers to your peripheral vision or side vision. If you think of the eye as 4 quadrants, any of the quadrants can have a restriction. And when you're looking centrally, it's what else you're able to see on either side. Sometimes your peripheral vision can be affected by a stroke or glaucoma. There are varying degrees of vision loss, and there's different ways to express it. Some people choose to say that they are visually impaired. Some people say that they have vision loss. Legal blindness is what we use for determining someone's ability to benefit from services. Some people choose the word blind, and others say that they have low vision. As many as 85% of people who are legally blind have some usable vision remaining. Usable vision can include their ability to detect light or dark, the ability to see large shapes or contrast, or their ability to see from their peripheral or side vision. Total blindness is when everything appears dark. The technical term for this is no light perception, but only about 15% of people with eye conditions fall under that. Usable vision varies widely from person to person, and its impact on daily activities such as reading, mobility, or recognizing faces depends on factors like acuity, contrast, sensitivity to light, and field of vision. There is normal fluctuation of vision depending on people's eye conditions or medical conditions. So for people that are affected by diabetes or multiple sclerosis, MS, they can have varying degrees of vision loss depending on, for example, their glucose or an exacerbation of their MS, and their vision will fluctuate from day to day. When talking about the varying degrees of vision loss, a moderate vision impairment is considered 20/70. So if you look at normal functional vision as 20/20, when you reach 20/70, that's considered a moderate visual impairment, and then 20/200 is severe visual impairment. Just to level set, the New York State Department of Motor Vehicles requires 20/40 acuity in one or both eyes, with or without corrective lenses. And a question that often comes up is for someone that has 20/20 vision in one eye, but maybe less vision in their other eye, you are not legally blind unless both eyes, best corrected, are the 20/200. Vision loss can be temporary or permanent. More times it is permanent when people come for our services, but it is important to know that depending on a trauma, a surgery, or a medical condition, sometimes vision loss is temporary. Sarah.
Thank you, Julie. It is important to recap how the loss of central and peripheral vision can affect everyday activities and safety. So central vision loss makes it hard to see details, causing difficulties with reading, recognizing faces, and doing up-close text, such as dialing a phone. And losing peripheral vision makes it hard to see things across the room or to the side, such as televisions or clocks on the wall. Side vision also increases the risk of spills, bumping into things, or having a fall. So for a participant in treatment, both types of vision loss can make it hard to communicate with their counselor and fully participate. Vision loss can impact things like intake paperwork, written homework assignments, noticing visual cues from their therapist, or navigating the treatment space. So another important consideration in terms of identifying vision loss impacts is that vision loss may be confused with memory loss or reduced intelligence, which can lead to misunderstandings by family, friends, and healthcare providers. So this can impact the quality of life and support and care that the individual receives, and it may also affect their confidence and safety in those relationships. So the next section will outline the primary causes of vision loss. Understanding these causes is essential for raising awareness, informed prevention strategies, and providing effective support. So to begin, keep in mind the clarity of what 20/20 vision looks like. So on the slide, there is an image depicting perfect 20/20 vision. Two boys with their arms around each other's shoulders, smiling at the camera, holding a ball. So the details in the image are crisp and sharp in focus, illustrating the clear essence of 20/20 vision. So blindness and vision loss can stem from various causes. The most common are cataracts, glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy, retinitis pigmentosa, macular degeneration, and albinism. Other causes may include injuries, autoimmune diseases like Lyme disease or MS, and medical complications such as medicine side effects. So now we will delve in further to the 4 of these major causes. So the first is cataracts. So a cataract is a clouding of the lens of your eye, which is normally clear. So for those with cataracts, vision is blurry, like seeing through a frosted or foggy window. So on the slide again, we now see the same image of our two boys, but the entire image is blurry, representing the clouded lens of your eye with cataracts. Most cataracts develop slowly and don't disturb eyesight early on. So cataracts can be surgically removed through an outpatient procedure that restores vision in nearly everyone. So in addition to the clouded and blurry vision, the most common symptoms of cataracts include reduced night vision, light sensitivity, seeing halos around lights, fading or yellowing of colors, and double vision in a single eye. You may also notice a need for brighter lights when reading or doing other activities, or frequent changes in eyeglass or contact lens prescriptions. Next, we move on to diabetic retinopathy. It is a complication of diabetes that damages the blood vessels in the retina, which is the light-sensitive tissue at the back of the eye. It may start with no symptoms or have mild vision problems, but it can lead to blindness. The longer you have diabetes and the less controlled your blood sugar is, the more likely you are to develop the eye condition. So on the slide, we now see the same image of the two boys showing dark spots and blotches scattered across the field of vision, along with areas of blurriness. So this represents how the condition can cause floaters, blurred vision, and dark and empty patches that interfere with normal sight. So to summarize, you may not notice any symptoms in the earlier stages as some of the other conditions, but as the condition progresses, you may see the floaters, blurred vision, and dark spots. It's important to contact your eye doctor if you notice any sudden changes in your vision, and these complications can lead to serious issues like bleeding, retinal detachment, and even blindness. And then next we have macular degeneration, MD. MD is a common eye condition that damages the macula, the center part of the retina responsible for sharp central vision. So MD can be caused by a variety of factors, including but not limited to age, genetics, and certain medical and autoimmune conditions. There's also AMD, which is age-related macular degeneration. It's a specific type of MD that is the leading cause of vision loss in older adults. So this condition can manifest in 2 forms. The first is wet AMD or MD. This is the less common but more serious form where abnormal blood vessels grow underneath the macula and can leak blood and fluid, causing rapid vision loss. And then the second type is dry AMD or MD. This is the more common form. It's characterized by gradual breakdown of the macula due to aging. So on the slide, we now see the same image of the two boys with a well-defined blurry spot in the center of the visual field, and while the peripheral vision remains relatively intact but can be blurry. So both forms of this condition can cause blurry or distorted central vision, where straight lines appear wavy. There will be dark spots and a central loss of vision. So it is crucial for essential tasks, as we mentioned, like driving, reading, and recognizing faces. And for managing this condition, there is a special mix of vitamins and minerals called the Age-Related Eye Disease Study, or AREDS formula. This may help slow the condition's progression, and there also may be surgical options available. And then finally, we will talk about glaucoma. Glaucoma is a group of eye diseases that can lead to vision loss and even blindness by damaging the nerve at the back of your eye called the optic nerve. So this condition progresses slowly and is characterized by high pressure inside the eye. Most people with glaucoma don't notice symptoms at first, and even if their eye pressure is high. So it's often not until later stages that they experience a significant vision loss, and this can include losing side vision or developing tunnel vision, and in some cases this can lead to blindness. So on the slide we now see our two images of our boys side by side. The left image shows moderate glaucoma, a clear central area surrounded by blurred and darkened edges resembling tunnel vision. And then the right image shows severe glaucoma, which depicts a clear center again with very darkened edges resembling very narrow tunnel vision. So other noticeable signs and symptoms of glaucoma include eye pain, redness in your eye, eyes that look hazy. This is particularly common in infants. There may also be upset stomach or vomiting, and seeing halos around lights. So that does conclude our causes of vision section. So understanding these causes really highlights the importance of awareness, early detection, prevention, and proper treatment. And I will now pass it over to Dan.
Thank you, Sarah. I'd like to share my own personal journey of becoming visually impaired and how I navigated through that experience. My story begins at the age of 8. I had an allergic reaction to an antibiotic, but unfortunately my primary care physician didn't recognize the symptoms. I was advised to continue taking the medication, which led to a significant deterioration in my health. I developed a fever and was bedridden for several days. Eventually, I was rushed to a medical center where I was diagnosed with Stevens-Johnson syndrome, a rare disorder affecting the skin and mucous membranes. My body was covered in blisters and my eyes were severely inflamed. Tragically, this condition destroyed my tear ducts, resulting in corneal scarring and inflammation of my eyelids. By the time I turned 11, I began to notice a decline in my vision. I found it increasingly difficult to engage in activities I once loved. By age 13, I was declared legally blind. Daily tasks became a challenge. I struggled to read printed material and often had trouble navigating from one place to another. School was particularly difficult. Despite sitting at the front, I couldn't see the blackboard clearly and my vision fluctuated, making it even harder to focus. I sought help from some of the best cornea specialists from New York to Connecticut and even Boston. Unfortunately, at that time, there were limited options available to restore my vision, aside from steroid treatments and over-the-counter eye drops. When I was 14, my mother and high school counselor reached out to the New York State Commission for the Blind. I was assigned a vocational rehabilitation counselor who was incredibly supportive, empathetic, and understanding. She coordinated various services that helped me gain independence and prepared me for the workforce. I learned essential skills and utilized different tools, including magnifiers, closed-circuit televisions, audiobooks, and adaptive computer software. Thanks to the support I received from school staff and the Commission for the Blind, I successfully completed college. Inspired by my journey, I wanted to give back to others facing similar challenges. I pursued a graduate degree in rehabilitation counseling and interned with the Commission for the Blind. Shortly after graduating, I was hired as a counselor, and I eventually advanced to the role of senior counselor, and now serve as a district manager of the Westchester office. Thank you for allowing me to share my story, and I hope it inspires others to overcome obstacles and pursue their goals, no matter the challenges they may face. Back to you, Julie.
Thank you, Dan. Now we're going to talk about NYSCB programs. We offer a range of programs designed to help individuals who are legally blind achieve economic self-sufficiency and full integration into the community. The primary programs include vocational rehabilitation, or VR, children's programming, transition programming for youth age 14 to 22, an older blind program for individuals 55 and over, and our business enterprise program. The Commission provides services directly through its own staff. We have 125 employees statewide. 75 of those individuals work specifically in vocational rehabilitation. We also collaborate closely with 16 private agencies for the blind who deliver comprehensive services within the community, including homes, workplaces, and educational settings. Our vocational rehabilitation program is our largest program. We help people who are blind keep or find competitive integrated employment through one-on-one support, which means that these are individuals who become employed in the community at a competitive paid rate. VR counselors work with each person to create a custom, individualized plan for employment that fits their job or career goals. Services can include vocational assessment and training, college or graduate school sponsorship, assistive technology and low-tech solutions, job training, eye exams and devices, interpreter services and reader services. We also have a Job Save program. The Job Save program helps individuals with severe visual impairment who are not yet legally blind retain their employment and adapt to vision loss. We provide assistance if an eye doctor expects the person to become legally blind, typically within a year, due to a progressive eye condition. And the idea here is to help people maintain their employment while they're adjusting and acclimating to their new vision loss, which we believe makes much more sense than leaving employment. Best thing is to stay on the job and work with us in order to save your job. The Children's Program, which focuses on early intervention for legally blind children. Children's counselors work with parents to arrange services that supplement education activities and ensure a smooth transition to adult services. We provide counseling, guidance, advocacy services, and educational consultation. These services can be delivered in the home or in the community. The Children's Program also provides the opportunity for blind children to attend summer camp and year-round recreation programs. Our transition program works with youth age 14 to 22. We provide the essential services needed for this age group, students who are legally blind, including those with additional disabilities. We collaborate with their families and their educational teams to support individualized planning and provide the necessary services for a successful transition to adulthood. Some of these services include pre-employment transition services, adaptive living skills, and summer employment opportunities, including job coaching and student stipends for work-related expenses. Sarah.
Thank you, Julie. Next, we have the Independent Living Services Program. This program is designed to promote independence and improve daily functioning for individuals experiencing vision loss, but who are not eligible for vocational rehabilitation or other commission programs. So it offers a range of personalized services, including orientation and mobility, rehabilitation teaching, low vision solutions, and adaptive equipment. These services are delivered through certified low vision specialists and our local private blind agencies. We will talk more about these services later in the presentation. And our adaptive living program, known as ALP. ALP provides a full range of rehabilitation services to people who are legally blind over 55 and are not seeking or engaged in competitive employment. Local blind private agencies deliver ALP services, which include adjustment counseling, rehabilitation teaching, orientation and mobility, low vision solutions, and adaptive equipment. So services are tailored to each individual's needs, assessed in the context of their personal goals, abilities, and resources. The goal is to promote independence and self-sufficiency aligned with each person's interests and their life circumstances. So success is measured by achievements outlined in the individual's Individualized Service Plan, or ISP. So ALP also advocates for nursing home residents who wish to reintegrate into the community and assists with discharge planning to facilitate a smooth transition back into the home and community. And last, we have our Business Enterprise Program, or BEP. BEP is authorized by the Randolph-Shepard Act of 1936, which provides priority to legally blind individuals to operate food service facilities in federal and state buildings and other properties. This program offers its participants extensive training and certification for operating diverse businesses like delis, vending, newsstands, and cafeterias. So the main goals are business ownership and financial independence. A fun fact about BEP, there are now 65 BEP vendors operating 65 facilities across New York State, including the OASAS location located on Western Avenue. So that concludes our NYSCB program overview. We'll cover how to access program information and resources later on in the presentation. And now I will pass it over to Dan to discuss NYSCB assessments.
All right. Why are assessments important for individuals who are legally blind or have low vision? Assessments are crucial for understanding the specific needs and abilities of individuals who are legally blind or have low vision. They enable rehabilitation counseling staff to deliver services that are tailored to each person's unique circumstances, strengths, and challenges. What are some common types of assessments used for individuals who are legally blind or low vision to determine their specific needs? Assessments may include a low vision exam to enhance a person's visual or residual vision with use of appropriate aids, orientation and mobility assessment to identify barriers with travel and how to improve safety skills, vision rehabilitation assessment, which will improve activities of daily living skills, social casework assessment, which will help to identify if there are any social and emotional needs, adaptive technology assessment to identify if there are any assistive tech hardware or software to help with daily tasks, academic assessment to determine if there are any learning needs for educational support, individual specialized assessments. This is a tailored evaluation based on an individual's needs. Let's see, what direct services does NYSCB offer? NYSCB has a variety of services, including vocational training, employment services, consultation and assessment, excuse me, rehabilitation and therapy, technology and adaptive equipment, and additional support and training, such as assistance with job accommodation or vision sensitivity training. I'll jump right into what's included in deafblind services. Deafblind services offer specialized support for individuals experiencing both hearing and vision loss. Services are provided by highly trained staff from the Helen Keller National Center who are sensitive to the specific needs of this population. Helen Keller National Center is the only national rehabilitation program for youth and adults who are deafblind located in Sands Point, New York. What is included in low vision services? Low vision services offers crucial evaluations and recommendations for low vision devices, helping individuals experience low vision to achieve specific vocational goals and improve their daily functioning. Low vision devices can empower the individual to perform essential tasks related to their vocational objectives or functional needs, such as using tools in a classroom setting or reading labels. And I'll pass it over to Julie.
Thank you. Vision Rehabilitation Therapy, or VRT, is offered through the Commission for the Blind by an instructor for the blind. This service assists individuals who are blind by teaching adaptive strategies to improve independence in daily living Through personalized training and support, clients can enhance their skills for activities such as cooking, mobility, and self-care. If you think about all the things you do from the minute you wake up, all throughout the rest of the day until evening, these are the types of things that a VRT will help you with, such as personal grooming, health management, cooking, cleaning, organizing and record keeping, clothing management, lighting and color contrast, labeling, handwriting and communication skills, and navigating your home and work activities. This service provides one-on-one instruction that focuses on developing skills to enhance a person's independent living. The goal is to prepare people for school, work, or managing their household responsibilities. And it covers all of the essential skills in terms of home management or other daily living skills. These skills, once taught, can be used anywhere. They can be used at home, at work, at school, or even in a medical or rehab setting. VRTs look to adapt or modify a person's environment so that they can perform all of their household or work-related activities. Some low-tech things might be a large print or bold pens. This will improve readability for users. This would be helpful for people that do have residual vision but just need large print. Low vision glasses enhance your remaining vision through magnification. So the idea is to maximize whatever vision a person has. Color and contrast, this would be aiding in distinguishing objects effectively. So for example, in someone's kitchen, if they have a white countertop, we would recommend a cutting board or dishes with color to just have contrast. Magnification devices, handheld or digital tools to enlarge the view. Lighting and glare. This will optimize your visibility and reduce glare. So for people who have light sensitivity, you might close the curtains or the blinds to assist them on a sunny day. You may just provide a lamp on their desk so that they have, better light when they're reading. Tactile markings provide physical cues for navigation. So sometimes we mark a person's microwave, their phone, their thermostat, or their washing machine. If they're able to see it, we might use a bright color with just a small mark so that they're able to identify the start button or the off button. And for someone who isn't able to see, it would be more of a bump dot to the touch, and they would be able to feel it with their finger. For folks who need talking devices, we have talking watches, clocks, talking thermometers, for example, to be used in the kitchen or to take someone's temperature, and this will just provide easier access to information. If the Commission makes these recommendations, we purchase the equipment and devices for everyone that we serve, so there would be no cost to the individual at that time. Sarah.
Thank you, Julie. Another crucial service for independent living is orientation and mobility, or O&M. Through one-on-one training, O&M specialists teach legally blind individuals the skills needed to navigate safely and independently across various environments, such as the home, work, school, and community. Some essential tools used in O&M include the long white cane, guide dogs, wheelchairs, walkers, crutches, monoculars, and sunglasses, which all enhance mobility. Assistive technology also plays a significant role with apps such as Google and Apple Maps for accessible navigation, visual interpreting apps like Seeing AI, Ira, and Be My Eyes, which use AI and on-demand human interpreters to translate the visual world, and the Navigator CDTA app, which allows users to plan routes, schedule trips, and pay for rides in the Capital District. O&M training focuses on the following skill areas. First, interpreting sensory information. So for example, using the scent of a coffee shop to maintain orientation on the way to work, school, or treatment session. Establishing landmarks. So remembering a static distinctive landmark, such as a red bench to the left of the library door. Next, street crossing. So using auditory information to determine the number of lanes and the direction of traffic. Route planning and execution, so using those GPS apps to plan the safest and most effective route, for instance in New York City, whether that would be walking, taxi, bus, or subway. And then using the actual aspects of public transportation, so how to identify the types of transit and their access points, understanding payment, knowing how to ask the drivers for assistance, and safely exiting the transit to reach their destination. There also is long white cane skills and guide dog travel that they will learn. So all of these skills areas enable independent and safe travel. And just to go over some long cane and etiquette information, long canes are a type of white cane that you are probably most familiar with. It extends from the floor to the user's sternum and is used by either rolling or tapping from side to side as the user walks. The cane's customizable tip provides tactile feedback, enabling users to identify obstacles, detect terrain changes, and perceive the ground's texture and contours. So the color and the cane itself also serve as a visual signal to others, alerting them to the presence of a blind or visually impaired person. An all-white cane means that the user is completely blind and has no usable vision. A white cane with a red bottom means that the user has low but some usable vision. And a red and white cane striped means that the user is totally blind and has also deafblindness. So it's important to remember not to touch a person's cane, as it's essential for their safety. Removing it from their possession is similar to taking someone's glasses or shoes from them. So always respect boundaries and the individual's choice on how they store the cane, whether it's on the floor, in their bag, or leaning against something. And next, guide dogs. A guide dog is a service animal that has been specifically trained to assist a person who is blind or visually impaired with independent and safe travel. They help to navigate obstacles, they stop at curbs and find specific locations. Legally blind individuals need to qualify for a guide dog after completing their long cane training with their O&M specialist. And just some guide dog etiquette to remember. So when interacting with a blind individual and their guide dog, always speak directly to the individual. Respect their choices about interacting with their dog. Avoid distracting, petting, or steering the dog while it's in harness. It's essential to teach children the difference between service animals and pets to ensure that working guide dogs are not disturbed by other animals or children, as this can cause a safety concern for both. And in the US, the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, and other similar laws in Canada allow guide dogs to go anywhere that their handlers go. So this means they can enter places like buses, taxis, restaurants, and theaters, stores, wherever their handler may go. And now I will pass it over to Julie to discuss our social casework, placement, and assistive services.
Social casework provides comprehensive support to enhance independence and overall well-being. This service is provided by a licensed social worker. Services may include emotional support to assist with coping and adjustment to vision loss, referrals to community resources tailored to the individual's needs, guidance on navigating benefits and financial assistance, group and individual counseling sessions to foster connection and resilience. If an individual has other medical or psychosocial factors accompanying their blindness, the social worker can help them with referrals to community providers, such as long-term mental health counseling or a rehabilitation facility. As we've mentioned, we work with people with multiple disabilities and conditions, including alcohol and substance use history or mental health conditions. Sometimes we have worked with people who have gone through the detox experience, and when they are going through detox, their blood pressure can spike or drop dramatically. This can impact the delicate blood vessels in their retina, which can cause vision loss, sometimes temporary or even permanent. I worked with an individual who experienced vision loss during detox. We were contacted pretty immediate, and we were able to provide services to him while he was in the rehab facility. He was able to receive social casework, some adaptive equipment, and just the ability to acclimate to his vision loss. When he was discharged into the community, he already had a counselor from the commission who was able to work with him through his transition back to the community and begin looking at his options for vocational training and computer training. Job placement services are designed to empower individuals in securing and maintaining meaningful employment. Some of the services include job search assistance to help individuals find suitable employment opportunities, ongoing support for maintaining a job if they're already employed, task analysis to identify essential job functions and skills required, evaluating workplace accommodations and providing any support that is needed, information to employers about reasonable accommodations, and guidance on tax credits and incentives available for hiring people with disabilities. This is an untapped workforce. Individuals with disabilities, including blindness, are not always considered when people are looking for employees. We always recommend looking for the most qualified person who may have a disability. Sometimes the people that we're working with have never worked before, so this could be their first job as someone who's visually impaired, and we would help prepare them for what they may experience at work. Assistive technology services. These are referring to devices and software that enable individuals who are blind to use a computer, take notes, and access various types of information, printed or digital content. There's various types of assistive technology, and we will go over just a few of them. Closed circuit televisions. These enlarge text up to 50 times. So a closed circuit television comes in many shapes and sizes. There are some that are large, like a large monitor. You would place your paper under the monitor and it would enlarge the font up to 50 times on the monitor. Usually these types of large devices would be kept in the workplace or at home. But now there are many portable type devices that are handheld, can fit in your purse or your backpack. Those are particularly helpful when you're out in the community. So you might use one to look at a train schedule that's posted. You may use one in a restaurant just to read a menu, or you may use one in a grocery store to read labels. Screen magnification enlarges the text on a screen. So this would be software that would be loaded onto an individual's computer, and it would enlarge the font more than you can enlarge the font with just your regular accessibility features. Screen readers convert text to speech. So for people who do not have the ability to read a lot of print, a screen reader will read what is on the screen. So it will read an email, it will read something from the internet. Mostly print though, not graphics. Refreshable Braille displays translate text to Braille. For people who learn Braille, typically those that lose their vision at a very young age, they may read faster using Braille, which would allow us the capability of converting text to Braille. Scanners, which everyone is familiar with scanners, so these will convert documents to an electronic format. So any document that is scanned in the accessible manner will be able to be read by the person. Note takers are portable devices for notes and internet access. And I will turn it back to Dan.
Thanks, Julie. What are some effective support techniques for providing support to blind or visually impaired individuals? Understanding basic courtesies, getting training to provide proper assistance, and adjusting your support based on who you are helping, like children, older adults, or coworkers. Some common courtesies to consider when interacting with a blind or visually impaired person. There are several common courtesies to remember when learning about blindness or interacting with an individual with vision loss. These courtesies cover everything from expectations to given directions. The first I'd like to cover is equality. Hold the same expectations for a visually impaired person as you would for anyone else. Encourage open communication, allowing them to express when they need assistance. An individual with visual impairment engaging in daily activities is simply living life, just like everyone else, and there's no need to label their efforts as amazing. Ask first. When offering help, always ask the individual first, as they may prefer to handle the situation independently. Additionally, minimize physical contact, and if touching is necessary, ensure you explain your actions beforehand. Tone of voice. Keep in mind that visual cues may not be accessible to everyone. Use your tone of voice to convey emotions and attitudes. Speak in a normal tone unless you are aware that the individual has a hearing impairment. Terminology. It is perfectly acceptable to use terms like look and see, along with other vision-related words such as colors, patterns, designs, and shapes during a conversation. Additionally, the terms blind and visually impaired are appropriate. Identify yourself. When entering or leaving a room or conversation, introduce yourself and others present. Speak directly to the individual rather than to those with them. Use clear language and indicate when you begin and end your speaking. Always introduce yourself by name when greeting someone who is blind or vision impaired, even if they may recognize your voice. Avoid asking someone who is blind or vision impaired to guess your identity based on your voice. Assisting with activities. When participating in activities like dining out, offer to read the menu or other relevant information. If the individual requests further assistance, use a clock face reference system to describe the positions of food on a plate or items in the room. Guide dog safety. When a guide dog is wearing its harness, it is working and should not be distracted, spoken to or petted. Avoid calling the dog by its name during this time. A dog needs to be alert and busy concentrating on cues. It can be frustrating to the handler and put both the dog and the handler in danger. Giving directions. Be clear when providing someone who is legally blind or vision impaired with directions. Don't point or use unclear statements like down that way or over there. Rearranging spaces. Do not move furniture in the home or in the office without letting the individual know where it was moved. Leaving. If you need to leave a person alone, guide them to stand near a wall or piece of furniture instead of leaving them in open space. This helps them maintain orientation and direction. Phone calls. When on the phone, treat everyone with respect, considering that individuals may have different vision experiences. Speak slowly and avoid jargon or acronyms. Introduce yourself with your full name and location. Ask if the person is taking notes and if they need any information repeated or clarified. Reassure them that the conversation is valued and that they are not taking up too much of your time. If possible, offer to follow up with a written email for their reference. Public transportation. When using public transportation, first ask if someone needs help with reading transit information or in emergency situations. Keep courtesy seating areas and front seats clear for passengers who are legally blind. Ensure aisles are free of personal items and be respectful of strong scents and loud noises that may affect a blind person's sensory interpretation. If you see a blind passenger sleeping, kindly notify the bus driver to help them catch their stop. Avoid interacting with or touching a passenger's guide dog or mobility tools. Driving. A specific right-of-way law requires that blind pedestrians with a guide dog or a white or metallic cane be given the right-of-way when crossing at marked or unmarked crosswalks, regardless of traffic signals or other rules. The law specifies that blind or vision impaired individuals do not need to use a guide dog or cane to receive this right-of-way. Awareness of potential hazards. Hazards for individuals with impaired vision include half-open doors, unpushed chairs, open cabinet drawers, loose rugs, cords across walkways, and hanging plants or lamps in walkway areas. To mitigate potential hazards in the environment, consider the following tips. Lighting. Ensure ample lighting and use blinds or curtains to adjust natural light and reduce glare. Color and contrast. Use light objects against dark backgrounds and paint door frames, steps, hand railings, and light switch covers in contrasting colors for better visibility. Avoid hazards. Remove or tape down area rugs and cords, push-in chairs, and close doors after use. Use non-skid and non-glare cleaning products on floors, and keep areas clear of clutter, adding identifiers to protruding signs and wall boxes. Textures and tactile markings. Incorporate various textures in flooring materials and use distinct colors, raised bump dots, or Velcro to clearly differentiate areas. Up next, we'll have Sarah.
Thanks, Dan, for discussing the common courtesies. Our next support technique is the human guide technique, also called sighted guide. This technique enables a person who is blind or visually impaired to travel with the assistance of a physical sighted person. So NYSCB can provide training on how to be a sighted guide and offers a detailed handout covering the general steps. So to start, it is important to remember that the standard form of sighted guide may need to be modified because of other health conditions or disabilities, or for someone who is exceptionally tall or short in height. And as Dan covered in the common courtesies, remember to ask first. The person who you are guiding will tell you what, if any, modifications they would like you to use. So to offer a sighted guide assistance, begin by asking the individual if they would like your help. They will then let you know if and how their help would be appreciated. Remember that the individual may not require help, even in situations where you might think it's needed. The individual will also decide on the mobility tools they will need for travel. These might include the long weight cane, a support cane, a guide dog, the human guide itself, or a combination of these. Importantly, some individuals may choose not to have any mobility tools at all. So if your assistance is accepted, the guide may wish to ask the traveler the side that they prefer to be on. So verbally offer your arm while placing the back of your hand against their hand. This gesture allows the traveler to slide their hand up the guide's arm easily. The traveler will grasp the guide's arm just above the elbow. If a child or small adult requests guiding, the person may hold the guide's wrist. A tall person may place the hand on the guide's shoulder. So if more support is needed, the traveler may link their arm in with yours. It's important to remember not to grab the traveler's arm or try to direct them by pushing or pulling, especially after the grip is established. So when traveling, the guide should relax their arm at their side and walk at a normal pace or the preferred pace of the traveler. So stay one step slightly ahead of the traveler. The guide should pause at significant changes in the environment, such as the top and bottom of stairs, before crossing streets or when changing directions. So at these places, pause and allow the person to stand next to you, then resume travel, walking one step ahead. It's important to remember that the guide is responsible for the traveler's safety and should be aware that the additional space that both people are occupying, and this also includes any mobility tools that they may be using. The guide may choose to verbalize upcoming changes in the environment. This includes narrow spaces, ramps, stairs, curbs, and other changes in the surface. Guide should provide information about stairways, including the location of handrails. So, to navigate a narrow passageway or a door, the guide should move their guiding arm behind their back to signal to the traveler that they are approaching a restricted space. The traveler can then slide their hand down from the guide's elbow to the wrist and walk single file behind the guide. The guide should also verbally describe the area they are approaching. For example, we're approaching a narrow doorway, or we're going down a hallway with a group of people walking towards us on the left. So before doors, communicate the handle side and the swing direction. So for example, if the handle is on the right and the door swings away to the left, hold the door open and ensure the traveler gets through safety. So you could say to the person, we're approaching the door, the handle is on the right and it swings away to the left. I'm going to hold the door open for you. So once you are through the space, move your guiding arm back to your side, and this will signal to the traveler that you've passed through the restricted space. Next, to guide a traveler to a seat, place the hand of your guiding arm on the seat or the back of the chair. This could also be for a car door handle if they are going to their car. So the person who you are guiding will independently locate the seat or the car handle by following your arm down to the chair or the handle. Do not grab the person's hand and place it on the seat or the handle. They will do that on their own independently. You should tell the person if the chair is on wheels or if it's a rocker or swivel chair. Also mentioning the type of chair, whether it has fabric or plastic, may be helpful. And last, when you are ready to part ways with the traveler, always inform them. It can become disorienting to the traveler to be left alone in an open space. Ask them if they would like to stand next to a wall, a railing, or another stable object nearby so they can maintain their orientation in the space. That completes our overview of Sighted Guide, and the Commission does offer training and resources for those who are looking to learn this technique, and we will cover how to access these training resources later on in the presentation. And now I will pass it over to Julie to cover support techniques for blind children, older adults, and coworkers.
Supportive techniques for children, we focus on socialization and independence. For some children, they may be the only blind student in their community or school. So we always encourage inclusive social connections, organizing group activities and events for blind children to promote friendships and teamwork. We also focus on parental involvement to involve parents in the educational process and provide resources for support at home. For older blind individuals, we focus on enhancing their quality of life and independence. We know that people who are older sometimes experience social isolation, so we promote social engagement, which promotes participation in community programs and support groups for older blind with visual impairments. It's always helpful for people to meet others who are experiencing the very same thing that they are. The focus for us also is for the person to maintain their life in the community. There is no reason that someone who is older and experiencing vision loss can't maintain their independence and remain in their community living situation. If you're working with someone who is visually impaired and they're your coworker, one of the most important things is to create an inclusive workplace. Everybody who comes to work wants to feel valued, and equity is always most important. So when you're interacting with someone who is visually impaired, remember the common courtesies of identifying yourself, asking before you offer assistance. Offer Sighted Guide, just remember to ask first. If you're in a meeting, identify yourself when you start speaking or stop speaking. Describe visuals or other non-accessible material. If you're creating documents, remember to check them for accessibility using clear layouts. This is particularly true in any type of rehab or medical setting where people are participating in groups or reviewing documents. Make sure that in order to allow for full participation, everybody has the opportunity to read the same materials. If you need assistance in a particular facility or site with making things accessible, please always reach out to the Commission for the Blind. We're more than happy to try to help you with accessibility. We're going to discuss accommodations. I know we've already discussed some of them, so we're just going to cover them briefly here. People think about reasonable accommodations as related to employment, so we'll start there. As an employee, know your employer's reasonable accommodation process and review relevant policies. Identify areas where you may need support and communicate openly while respecting your privacy and rights. It's the employee's responsibility to ask for a reasonable accommodation, and that is important to remember. As an employer, stay informed about accommodation policies and seek assistance for understanding and implementation. Engage in an interactive process to address an individual's needs and provide timely accommodations to foster an inclusive and accessible workplace. Typically, human resource departments are able to assist a supervisor when reviewing reasonable accommodations. You can apply accommodations anywhere. So if you have a request for a reasonable accommodation, you always first look to see if you can offer a natural support just within your facility. It might be something easy to provide, like large print. Use a common sense approach and ask people what they need to be successful in their life, in work, or in your facility. We've discussed a lot of the accommodations for people with visual impairments, but remembering that accommodations would be tailored to an individual's specific needs. Prioritizing accommodations for a person with a visual impairment endorses a culture of accessibility and respect, fosters a diverse workplace, and ensures compliance with legal standards. Remember to always ask the person first, what is their preferred accommodation? Accommodations for applying for services. We recommend that a person who is seeking services or public assistance describe their visual impairment early in the process and request the accommodation at the start of the application process. And this can include applying for medical services, social services, or even at a job interview. There is always the possibility or chance that an individual will not identify themselves as needing an accommodation until they arrive for services or the application process. If a reader can be provided by the service provider to help review the application, that is extremely helpful to someone who is visually impaired. Remember that it is considered a reasonable accommodation when someone is requesting or applying for services, and this should be provided by the service provider. Another example of a possible accommodation could be providing a sighted guide. If someone who is visually impaired is coming to your site for the very first time, it's more than likely that they will need a little bit of assistance acclimating to the site on their very first visit. Sarah.
Thank you, Julie. So similar to our support techniques for individuals with blindness and visual impairment, the Commission can assist agencies and businesses in accommodating these needs with a variety of support services. And Julie just had mentioned one earlier. So these include developing inclusive policies and procedures to accommodate blindness and visual impairment, providing guidance on accessible materials such as Braille, large print, and audio formats, offering specialized resources and training to improve employment prospects such as job readiness and skill development, providing technical assistance on the use of various adaptive technologies, and conducting customized training sessions for staff on topics like vision sensitivity and sighted guide technique. Another primary support service is our public outreach. The primary goal of outreach is to raise awareness of Commission programs and services using a diverse and accessible methods. So this involves active participation in the community at job fairs and health expos. We engage with cultural specific activities. We target specifically to legally blind, deafblind, and low vision communities. We increase our media and web presence, especially social media. We engage directly with eye care providers, and we share multilingual, accessible marketing materials. So to achieve these goals and objectives, we dedicate ourselves to research, collaborative partnerships, needs assessments and trainings, online engagement, and our increased community presence. So as the outreach coordinator, I do facilitate requests for staff training, public events, and potential collaborations with local organizations. So if you or your agency are interested in any of those support services, such as Sighted Guide, please reach out. You can contact me or the Commission by email, phone, or mail. And I have my contact information listed on the slide. Next, we will cover the forms and resources that the Commission offers. So the Commission does offer essential forms, including our application for service, different evaluations, and confidentiality releases. Our forms are available in accessible formats in both Word and PDF. The forms are available in the top 12 languages spoken by New Yorkers. This is in alignment with New York's public access law. Additional languages and formats are always available upon request. Our most popular forms include the OCFS 1002, which is our main application for service form, and the OCFS 4599, which is the report of legal blindness / request for information. These forms are accessible on our homepage and our dedicated forms page. So the Commission does offer a variety of publications and online resources. These include our program brochures, informational flyers, frequently asked questions, and links to helpful agencies. So these materials are designed to assist not only the individuals with blindness and visual impairment, but also their family, their friends, employers, professionals who support them, so doctors, ophthalmologists, and even rehab therapists. So resources are available again in multiple languages, audio and large print formats, and additional formats and languages are available upon request. We often share resources from the Job Accommodation Network known as JAN, which provides guidance on workplace accommodations and disability employment issues. It helps employers and employees create that inclusive environment. Also, Access VR, our sister VR agency that assists all individuals with disabilities with their employment. And the U.S. Department of Labor, which offers resources on employment rights, workplace laws, and training for all types of workers. Up next, we have our directory information. So you can contact us for assistance, information, or access to our services. Our website, visionloss.ny.gov, has dedicated web pages with program and service information. Our directory information is also found on our website. It includes our toll-free number and TDD hard of hearing number. We have our district manager list. We also have a breakdown of our district offices with the counties served, so you can easily find your local district office. We do have our partner agency list for our contract blind agencies. We have independent living centers and assistive technology training resources all listed on our website. So you can also find us on the OCFS Facebook page and email at info@ocfs.ny.gov. So onto our office locations. The Commission has one home office location in Rensselaer, as well as 7 district offices and 9 outstation offices statewide. On the slide, you will see a map of New York State with county line markers and black and purple numbered indicators, which highlight our 7 district offices and the 9 outstations, respectively. And you can see that this spans the entire state of New York. And then our stakeholders. Key stakeholders include all individuals who are blind and visually impaired, our 16 private blind agencies, state and federal government agencies, advocacy groups, community organizations, and the general public. So listed on the slide are our 16 private partner agencies for the blind, which do deliver comprehensive services across all demographics and settings. Their directory information is also listed on our website. So Dean, I will pass it back to you.
Thanks. Can we talk about some myths that are out there? Like, people often think that blind individuals can't find good jobs or maintain a career. What work opportunities are available for someone who is blind or visually impaired?
Contrary to myth, people who are blind or have low vision can perform many of the same jobs and pursue the same careers as those who are sighted. The list of possible jobs are endless. In 2022, NYSCB provided vocational and rehabilitation services to enable 331 New Yorkers who are legally blind to become employed in a new job or to maintain their current employment after vision loss. Some of the job titles included accountant, actor, music teacher, cashier, chef, chiropractor, electrical engineer, lawyer, librarian, file clerk, journalist, web developer, real estate agent, medical assistant, stonemason, security guard, fitness trainer, and floor layer.
So you've talked a lot about supportive employment services for those who are blind or low vision, yet the unemployment rate's often cited at 70%. in the United States. What is the actual unemployment rate for this population?
So contrary to the myth, only 8.1% of people with visual impairments are unemployed, not 70%. There are key differences in the terms unemployed and not in the labor force, which significantly impact that employment statistic. So to go into that a little bit further, in the labor force, a total of 2.43 million people with visual impairments. Of that, 52% are employed, meaning currently working. And there's that 8.1% unemployed, which means not working, but actively seeking work. And then in the other group, not in the labor force, totaling 1.84 million people with visual impairments, 43% of that are not in the labor force, which means not working and not currently seeking work. These statistics used here come from the 2023 American Community Survey data, working age adults with visual impairments aged 18 to 64 in the U.S.
So it's often thought that all materials need to be provided in Braille for employees or colleagues who are blind or have low vision. Is that true?
Contrary to myth, the availability of assistive technology has made nearly any kind of printed document accessible to people who are blind. Some people may choose to use Braille, especially those who lose their vision at a young age. However, it is usually not the primary method for people who have vision loss. In fact, many individuals with visual impairments know enough Braille to be functional and use it for tasks like making notes and labels, but they may not require any materials to be transcribed. This highlights the importance of understanding an individual's needs and preferences when it comes to accessibility and accommodations. Remember to ask first.
It's often claimed that job accommodations for those with vision loss are expensive and lead to an ongoing cost. Is that true?
Contrary to myth, most employers report no cost or low cost for accommodating employees with disabilities, such as blindness or low vision. According to the Job Accommodations Network, also known as JAN, more than half of surveyed employers, 56%, reported that accommodations cost nothing. Employers' typical one-time expenditures to provide accommodations are approximately $300. Only 7% of employers reported ongoing annual expenditures, which averaged about $1,925.
So, a lot of folks believe that losing your vision means you're going to lose your job. But this isn't true according to NYSCB. What can someone with vision loss do to keep their job and perform well?
Contrary to myth, employees can continue working while experiencing vision loss. State VR agencies offer a range of rehabilitative and counseling services to help individuals perform their current job duties or find new employment opportunities. These agencies support employees in requesting work accommodations, collaborating closely with employers to implement modifications that can enable employees with vision loss to perform their jobs safely and effectively. This may include assistive technology, modifying a workstation, or adjusting a job task, ensuring that the employee with vision loss can continue contributing to their organization while maintaining independence and productivity.
I want to thank my guests today for joining me. I hope you all find it useful while assisting clients in need of services. Your feedback is important to us. It helps us to know if we are meeting your educational goals and expectations. Once you have viewed the presentation in its entirety and completed the quiz, if prompted, please follow directions to access the SurveyMonkey and take a moment to complete the evaluation, including suggesting any future topics for Learning Thursdays. Once again, thank you for joining us and keep up the good work.